Let's see if this is really it, man. Hey, we're live. Okay, so I just dropped my bottle. Okay, so we're live. It is Friday, 3rd of July, and we are here to cook some stuff on FL Studio and just kind of get some grooves going because, yeah, it's delete, 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 FL keys. Get rid of the sampler because I don't need the sampler. Delete. And then for some reason this is routed to channel 3, which is already annoying. So I'm gonna reset this. Reset, not that. I'm just gonna move it over. Oh, okay. There we go. Cool, now we're cooking. Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. I am happy with that. I'm gonna keep it as is. Um, guess I can have like a live channel, studio mode. No. I do want a spot for my I do want a spot for my YouTube chat, I guess. There we go. So, okay. We're just gonna work, man. It's not a pretty stream, but it's on, and it do be a vibe. Okay. So let's start with a tempo. Um, I always choose like a comfortable 80. It's easier for me to write an 80 because it's slower paced and I can think about more about what decisions I want to make rather than just playing stuff. Now I realize that metronome is so loud, so we're gonna turn that down later. Yeah, let's do it now. So let's do a 4-bar groove, something like this, where, nope, that's not what I want. Delete. Delete the flex. And for me, like the biggest thing is organization. So like working from this channel rack and just like utilizing a pattern would be much nicer for me. So let's maybe 8-bar groove would be nice. And then let's just see what we got. So I always play in D, and I think that that's fine and all. I want to experiment more with F because this is more of a comfortable singing key for me. And I think what I'd like to do is just maybe stick to that. That seems pretty nice. So let's make it happen. That seems like the turnaround for me, so let's fix this a little bit. Wait, move this over a little bit for now. I'll like cut it off here, just so that it doesn't loop back the wrong way. Okay, so um, I like to quantize just the start times because like it fixes the timing issue, but it doesn't fix the articulation that you chose, and it doesn't make these like extra long. See, so there's still like some like human effect to it, but yeah. So that's pretty chill. Let's just work with that because I think too much about what I'm doing and not enough playing. So, mm. That's great, man. That's just the basic keys going on, right? So let's just get it out of the way for now. Let's delete that. That's my voice recording. For some reason is armed. So let me just unarm. I want to unarm it, but I still want to track it. Whatever, I'll just keep it. Okay, so now let's work on like a nice bass. Now FL has this boo bass thing. It's very boring in my opinion. But maybe we can tweak it a little bit. Let's just see what they got. Okay. Record 1, 2, 3, and oh, something's off. Something's not playing back to me. let's put that here. Yeah. Okay, so on its own, it sounds pretty bland, whatever. But I'm starting to learn the more that I just make little grooves and pockets like these is that MIDI sounds they can be drowned out with more entertaining things. So for example, this bass on its own very punchy, but with the piano, like if you're thinking smart about the contour of the sound, now you're working. I like that the F starts there. It gives the piano a little bit of 2, 3, da, 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 and that's just a good. It's like a good loop, you know. And yeah, so we're gonna work with that. Um, let's add a little bit more color. I think we've got keys, which is some sort of harmonic bass. We've got the lower end, which I think could use a little power anyway. Let me give it a good. I don't like it just yet because it comes out with the punchiness. So let's just keep that. Um, let's add some sauce. Let's add some sounds on the top. So I saw this the other day. If we take an EQ and we look at the information that we get from the playback, then this will tell us a little bit about what sort of frequencies are missing to make this a little bit more well-rounded. Now, when like people mix and master, that's essentially the job, right? It's getting the sound profile that you get from the entire track to be more well-rounded on the bass end and then on the high ends, and then that's where you choose well, do I want this song to be a little bit more punchy and high end and all these frequencies up here, or do I want it to be more booming bass end? And again, that's with all the instruments considered. So for now, let's just keep it normal. Let's play it back and then just try to figure out what frequency ranges we can explore with a little bit more. So very much on the low end. Yeah, and well, I can hear it too. It's missing some of this fun stuff up here. So let's add some of that. It doesn't have to be necessarily melodic, just very motivic and um like a little signature to the piece. Like this is what is the most recognizable thing about the piece. So this is one of my favorite plugins. It's called Flex. It comes with FL Studio, but there's just so much here. So many cool, right? And we're just turn it. We don't want any of that. We want something magical on top of this. Too much. Whoa. I am sorry, people. These are just like preset to be loud for some reason. Let's try. That's too busy. I don't like it. So There's too much going on here that I'm gonna have to try to control. Mm-mm. Ooh. Okay, so it's still very echoey, and that's because of this delay. I'm gonna experiment with maybe just doing like a one bar thing for it, so that the delay. I love it. Let's just stick with it. I probably need to turn it down, but that's fine. So let's just dive into it. That's an idea that I like. One, two, ready. That's beautiful, man. I don't even know how to describe what it really is, but I will take that any day. So, same trick here. I don't want this. I thought it was cool. I didn't like it after I did it. So, quantize. So, here it's happening on the 2, 3. Do I want it? Yeah, I like it in the beginning better because the piano comes out a little bit more. I'll leave the last one here. I don't know about this. This sounded okay. Ooh, I'm just gonna like do a little echo here. I like the lower C. I just want it there to elongate that a little bit. So let's see what we got. We got that's so good. Okay. I've got that. Just gonna loop it. Just vibe on it. Okay. So really all I'm gonna do, it's stupid simple. I'm just gonna make like a track off of a little bit of beatboxing. I'm not a beatboxer at all. I don't ever pretend to be one, but there is a benefit to just like saying or making the sound out of your mouth and just like maybe copying it a little bit. Because just doing it off a grid like this is fine, but I think there's something a little bit that takes away from the beauty of the creation that you're making here. So, you know, stick to the groove, stick to the oral aspect of it, the AURAL. I forgot how to spell oral. Yeah, that's about right. The oral aspect of it, which is like what comes out of your mouth, is probably more natural anyway. So we're gonna do that. Let's go here. One, two. Ugh. Okay, I'm out of breath. I hear some like wannabe kicks in there, maybe a snare, but like I'm noticing that I'm not too much on like a heavy and a like prominent snare. The hi-hats though is probably something I'm gonna have to really tweak here. So let's start exploring some kick sounds here. I like that one. Look, it's simple. I don't care. There's so much you can do with it anyway. So just like choose the one that's close enough and then tweak it later. Is what I would say. There is a thing as like a perfect sound, right? I think so. The sound that you just want, but the probability of you like going through all those millions of files and finding the one that you want, I don't think that's gonna like do anything for you in your creative process. Now, if you're like familiar, right? I've seen videos of like Kanye West and like these other top tier producers that are just like, oh, I want this specific sound from this track and I know exactly how to get it because I have all the sounds in the world. And like, great, toodles, man. But when you're like me and you're working on a budget, just pick what you got and you got to do your best sound designing, even if it's something you don't know what to do. You know, just turn some knobs till it sounds the way you want it, is my theory at least. So let's see. I don't want two kicks here. What the heck? What happened to all my stuff? What? I know I'm like, what? Come on, man. Where's my stuff? I hear a kick. It's not being labeled here. Oh, okay. So let's make this shorter, I guess. 8 measures. It's not. This is the annoying thing about here. I wish it would just do it by measure instead of like how many actual beats. So 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 4. 32. Dude, this is why I'm a musician. I can't math. Okay. Okay, let when in doubt, just do it again. Get rid of it. This is the kick. It's a little too loud. I'm gonna bring it down just to like 60. See what that does. I'm just gonna play it on the playlist because 1, 2, 3. I like that it's just spaced out like that. I'm gonna not do that one because it gives me more freedom to mess with. Again, the contour. I'm thinking more of a musician when I'm doing this stuff. Again, I'm not a music producer. I don't claim to be, although it's what I'm doing. It's more just like I'm using my intuition to kind of guide me to what I want it. So it's not perfectly with the beatbox, but so it's like a heavy. It seems like a simple snare to me. It's a heavy like 1, 2. Ooh, that's my girlfriend. She woke up. I've been up, but let me say good morning to her because yeah. And I'm gonna silence that so it doesn't come out for now. Okay, that was great. Look, I like this groove kick. So again, sound designing, right? Let's do the exact same pattern that they have here. And I'm gonna turn this down. That sounds like a nice. This is the initial hit. That's very lo-fi. This is more. Now that gives me more space to mess with this groove a little bit. Ooh, like it. All right, so let's keep that for now. I'll mess with all the panning stuff after I hear the contour. And I keep saying contour because contour is like the shape of the sound that you want. So if you're like panning things out and already like trying to pre-plan, okay, I'm gonna put this here, put this there. That sounds great and all, but you have to think about like what the studio musicians, not studio musicians, like what live performers do. They have their monitors on, they have their headsets on while they're performing. They probably have some sort of like metronome track playing in the background just to kind of keep everyone together because live performances, they're spaced out. They're just not really close enough to listen to each other and feel the groove as much. So I'm thinking that way, and I'm thinking backwards because that's what this is supposed to be eventually, right? That's the kind of sound that you want to make. Live sounds are better than studio sounds in my opinion. They're more genuine, so that's what we're done. So let's add our snare. I'm talking a lot, but it's because I'm really finding how healthy it is to just think out loud what you want to do. Um, it's great. So let's go to snares. Wow, that's so loud. I'm sorry. I like that this is just about the same as this other kick. It has the same profile to it. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and record it with my audio or my MIDI input because yeah, because like if I think about the phrasing while I'm recording it and I just quantize it, I keep the phrasing and then I can fix the groove. So and then like I always add a little tail thing at the end because I'm a jerk. Because I'm a jerk. That's it. That's the only reason. So let's go here, snare clap, quantize it, and of course, I'll listen to it and review it. Never just like quantize something and think that's it. It's gonna stick and that's it. Some things you just remove. Okay, so these snares are a little too loud. I'm just gonna put them about here. And see, now we got a perfectly round kick snare pattern. I'm gonna leave it that simple because I think the hi-hats and every other like trinket that I add to it is gonna make it a lot more groovy. And I'll show you guys what I mean. But for now, kick snare pattern is great. Let's hear this hi-hat. Okay, so snares are hard for me because I don't play drums. So I don't really understand what the rudiments are, what the patterns are, what is playable live. But I know that there's always some sort of consistent subdivision and then like a variation of open hi-hat, close hi-hat, and just like fitting those into the groove. So what I'm gonna do, I still don't like the snare, but I'll probably tweak that with some sort of effect. Let's add some sort of hat. I can play around with these two a little bit. There's a close and open. I like that they're really thin. This one's really thin. And then this one is like, I don't know how to explain that better other than just it sounds like I can play with these a bit around. So maybe. See what I mean? As long as you know how to identify what you want. Yeah, and then simple as just like copying it, really. So let's do this. And tweaking it as I go, because I want the solid foundation, yes, but I don't want to spend hours and hours editing some stuff, man. So let's do this. Now we got our groove. It's very like just copy paste, because that's what we do in music production. Copy paste, review, tweak, and then reform, review, post. I wish these had a little bit more bounce. So the open hi-hat, I always want to be stronger than weaker than the kick drum. So let's do that first. I want to make sure that, oh, not what I want to do. I want this solo with kick. Let's do both kicks. It's there. It is there. I just maybe a little more on this. Pitch it. Yeah. And then pitch these a little bit. So I want like a big open hi-hat versus a thinner one. So let's okay. Now here we're gonna play around with the velocities here a little bit. So 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 going down and up. I like that. See what I mean? Like it adds a little bit of a bounce. There's that, or I could experiment a little bit with like articulating these and then varying it. I don't. I like it. Okay, so I got an even better idea. I'll do that, and then I can go ahead and get rid of this beatbox thing. Just gotta make sure these are all aligned. That I delete the right one. Delete. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cool. I'm starting to not like the kick for some reason. I think it's this one. That's better. Let's turn this one up. Let's check our levels, make sure it's okay. Yeah, the kick is still the strongest thing. That's fine with me. So the whole thing so far, pretty good. I don't like this one. Bring it down. Now check this out. There's this thing here, this little wheel called the main swing wheel, and I really enjoy it because it swings it based on the percentage that you want. So if you want like a 75% swing, and it becomes right. That's a little crazy, maybe. I want to but it's not the kind of groove for it. That I would do for something like if you're trying to get really funky with things and just experiment and explore with experiment and explore with that genre and situation, then go for it, right? But yeah, so I think the thing that I kind of want next, and what I'm doing here is creating like a pocket. This is a pocket. This is let's see how much it actually is. Like 10 seconds of music. Mm-mm. Sir, I want it. Thank you. So 23 seconds of music. No lyrics, not yet, right? That's a little bit later. But I found that like this is the process that a lot of people do because that's what our modern like pop culture really is anyway. Is just like these ostinatos, repeating lines, bass lines, harmonic um, structures, and just like again the motivic stuff like this is what rounds you out into creating a good track. And so yeah, we've got this now. I think what I want to add next is a little bit of some real percussion because um because you can. Because why not, right? So my girlfriend got me this. I guess like it's called like a Weedle, but maybe this one is called something else. This is was handmade in Puerto Rico. She just went there recently for her sister's bachelorette party, and she got me one of these from I guess a street vendor, and a lady that makes them, and they're grooved on one side. If you're not familiar, they're grooved one side so that they have like these um, strikeable grooves that create a like a raspy, that's not the right word, a scratchy sound that is like prominent in a lot of Latin American music. I know for sure it's prominent in like Mexican cumbias and just like tejano. There's these are used widely for those kinds of things, but this is just like a miniature toy one that you can take, and it has this thing here. This is not for my hair. It is for it's the scratching tool, right? Now, would I use this to perform? No. Although you can maybe if you have a microphone. But it creates a nice something that's just like something that is just a little bit cringy to the ear, that it's like maybe ASMR ish. I don't know how to explain that better, but yeah. So I got my channel rack here. I'm eventually gonna split this pattern, which I can probably just do now, but I'm gonna keep it because I don't want it too messy right now. So I'm gonna add an audio track on number 10, which let me just make sure it's here correctly. That's number 10. And I am going to like maybe create a little groove from it. Yeah. And my goal is not to like get a solid groove, right? I don't play this often. I don't play this often. I'm hearing myself twice, and that's because the master has not the master, the I never learned how to scroll back here. See, it's like these tiny things that I don't know how to do yet, like navigation wise. There we go. So sampler, let's get rid of this for now. We've got this one on, and I'm going to try to like get some little groove, maybe motivic ideas within the groove I already have. I don't want to do the entire groove because then that's just going to be too much. And whatever I like, I clip it, fix it, and make it part of the song. So let me just listen to it first. Okay, look, so it's not directly on the mic. I probably should do it, but I'm gonna put it in and just work with it. Okay. It's not perfect. It's not gonna be perfect again because I don't know what I was playing other than just feeling it out, and that is like the entirety of the magic of it is. That's why I find this so entertaining to do because you never know what you're gonna get. It's almost like a game. You just kind of have to go with the groove and figure out what you like and you don't. So, okay, all my tabs are all over the place. This is amazing. This is wonderful. I want my playlist tab back on the playlist tab. Why is it doing this? There we go. So let me see. I like that. It's pretty cool. I don't like that. This is a little bit late. Maybe if I can. It's like I can move it, but it becomes a whole hassle. Like I just want. Ooh, I like this one. And that's the one. I'm not even gonna listen to the rest of it. I could, but I'm not going to because that's the one I like. That's the one I'm gonna copy. So copy here. Well, let's just move it over. Duplicate. And so now we have. Now check this magic out. So it's not exactly how I wanted it to be, but once I get into, hear me out, let me cook. If I get into this here and I put a little bit of Hey, I'm on reverb. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Okay, this is on the end of two. I like it. That's much better. It had a little strike at the beginning. I don't like it. Mm-mm-mm. Get rid of those. Okay, let me take off this. I'm gonna go back to my master. Put on. Okay, here we go. Keep the reverb here. Disarm it so you guys can hear me and can still hear the reverb. And like, see, that's the thing that's really really cool, because the Weedle has a little bit of snare to it. Then um then it like already creates the space that I kind of was imagining for the song. And if I add like a reverb on one of the kicks, I don't know which one I want to do it for. Maybe this one, because it'll just be like a same reverb. No. This one. Ooh, no. Too much bass, too much bass. Open my reverb. Get rid of. That's where we need to play around with it. So let's hear this. How do I do this without just muting this? I have a very messy workflow, but that's because like I'm connecting so many different things at the same time. Close, close, keep. That keeps. I'm gonna minimize that. That's how you guys are hearing me. Good. And he's like a some sort of like long open, maybe like a cymbal, not a crash. That's not a crash that I want. I don't want that. It's like an open hi-hat. That was I like. You know what? I like it because it has a little roll on it. My issue with it is going to be, is it going to get in the way of, I'm going to move this over to 11. I'm going to put the reverb back. Is it going to get in the way of like the groove? Because if that repeats every time, then that's when it sounds robotic to me. But if I can get away with maybe tweaking it and varying it a little bit, that'd be great. Dude. What did I just do? Oh, right. So this needs to get reverb here. Well, I didn't tweak this one, so I'll just delete it. I'll put this here, reverb. And we just cooked. We just cooked, man. It only took us 55 minutes to put it in the oven, leave it on to bake, and just have a good time. I still haven't finished doing what I wanted to do, so every like two, essentially. Maybe just one. I'm still not liking the roll anymore. Maybe it needs like a little bit of something else. No. There's too much going on in the two. That's the George Lopez. Every time I click on it, I just do the same thing. And then whatever it is. That's a very funky tune, by the way. I should probably do like a trying to remake it on the doll, just to kind of mess around with it. It'd be cool. Um, let's opt out on that. I think it's a great idea long term, but I'll probably do it with some sort of um I don't know, some sort of um effect. So, we're cooking. So this is what we got. We started with the keys here, and I want to solo it from the mixer. We started from the keys. This is all very low because I'm trying to protect my ears. I hope that you guys can hear better, but we'll figure that out when we figure it out, I guess. So that's it. That was it, the pocket. And then we added some bass. I'm going to move my mixer over to my next screen. You guys are not going to see it, but at least I can tweak without having to worry about. Right? Here's the trinkle, number 4. Adding that lo-fi kick. But we said that I didn't like it, so we doubled it with another one. Now it gives you that more like, you're like in the kick drum. I still don't like the snare, but this sounds robotic, like a drum machine, but that's how I get the bounce that I wanted from the MIDI. Like, the MIDI is going to solidify a solid rhythmic bass for me to work off of. And I can eventually opt out to take it off if I really like it's bothering me, because I'm already going to have the bounce with it. And then like when you pan everything out in terms of percussion, then you start to hear all the different elements, and it's too distracting anyway to be like, oh, that's a MIDI hi-hat, whatever. So that's the other open hi-hat, the MIDI one, and then here we are. That's the crash here. I don't know if I like it yet, so I'm gonna take it off, but I'll leave it there as an option. And so yeah, so what I would do from here is probably like duplicate this a couple times, try to get to a certain number for my track. So like this is 312. This would be perfect like for an intro right about here, maybe like 2 verses, some sort of pre-chorus, chorus, go back to another verse, pre-chorus, get the chorus again, so I'll double that, chorus again, and then now like this is a 4-minute song, and I'll work off of that. I'll take off what I want. I can continue to add things, And the more like I layer and stack on top of this, then the better that I can um yeah, the better that I can get it to where I want it to be. This is just a solid idea, something that I can work off of and no longer have to think about. Just put it in my pocket and then just like listen to it in my car and start writing. So I'm gonna save this, save as. We're gonna call this Cookie FL Studio Cook Cooking #1. I don't know. We'll create a new folder. We're gonna save this in like FL Studios projects, and then I'm gonna call this Cooking FL. Just gonna keep the name consistent because my organization in terms of files horrible. I mean, just like look at just look at my names. I don't remember what any of these are. I remember how they sound. I just don't remember what they're like. So FL Studio Cooking. What did I call it? Cooking session. I'm just gonna call it Cooking #1. What? Okay. Then it wants me to create a folder for the YouTube projects. YouTube projects. We're gonna call it Cooking 1. And I can always just like reference it based off of the videos. That's a nice thing that I like about having. What, dude? My caps lock is on, and it's not doing a capital I, or at least I can't see it. I need to make my text bigger. I'm also getting a bit blind on my left eye. Not blind, that's the wrong word. It's deformed a little bit, and it's causing some issues with like my eye being tired very easily, and like vision issues too. I went to the DMV to get my license, and when I did the vision exam, I almost failed it. So I gotta figure that out at some point. I don't. What? No, I want to save it here. Save here. Okay. Save. Done. Okay. Well, that is pretty much it. It's been about an hour. I think that's a pretty decent like session time. So, I'm gonna call it. But if you guys enjoy the groove, if you think it's something that could possibly turn into something great, let me know. And what I'll do is I'll start a series for each of the projects that I do make. So I will continue to make some more pockets like this because I always tend to stump myself on um I tend to stump myself on like after I create the pockets and the grooves, then we have to think about arrangement and lyrics and just planning for the overall artistic vision. And that's great, but I love making pockets and grooves, and I love just like getting input on them. Are they something that you would bop to? Are they something that needs just to be thrown away, which is totally fine. I mean, this was created on a whim. It wasn't, there's no planning to it. I just, whatever comes from me, you know? So don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed our little cooking session here. And if you're interested in more, turn on post notifications. I will try to consistently post as much as I can, at least during the summer, as as I have to head back to work here in August. So yeah, like and subscribe, and thank you guys.